Welcome to a live, and I'm just going to hang around and see who joins. But in the meantime, I hope you're well. If you're just coming across the channel on a later feed of this live, then please do subscribe. If you're interested in anything that I cover on the channel, from Reiki to healing to spirituality, guided meditations, hypnosis sessions, EFT sessions, ways of being able to support your own mental health. You'll find that all that here on the channel, just while I get the incense stick out of this packet, which seems to be extremely difficult. But yeah, that's where we're at. Today we're talking about Reiki. We're talking about Reiki as a practice, and then whatever else other people pop in to discuss and to talk about. Hey Alex, thank you for popping in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, brother? How are you doing? I popped you a message on Instagram, but I'm guessing you've come off there now. I know last time you were on a live, you said you were migrating away from Instagram. So I'm guessing you are off there. But I just said to get in touch, to drop me an email, because I know you mentioned about maybe doing a Zoom at some point as well to discuss different things that we were talking about at the time. I can't even remember what we were talking about at the time, but I'm always open to connect and chat when I can. So, are you taking a 3-month hiatus as an exercise? Sounds like good practice to me. I think it's good to just step away from it every now and again, step away from stuff, and I've not really done that much on Facebook and Instagram. I've put a couple of posts out the last couple of days just with things that I've got coming up, or with opinions or things that I've seen via Facebook and social media, but it gets quite oppressive, doesn't it? It takes over a little bit, and I think it's good for us to just have a step away from that, and have a bit of a breather. So I thought I'd come on and talk a little bit about Reiki, and Reiki as a good practice, and how do we become better practitioners. And I've shared quite a bit lately over the last sort of couple of weeks, I suppose. I've done little snippets and stuff on TikTok. I've not done so much on here as much, although I have, what videos I've made for TikTok will be getting released on here as well at a later date. Down for a Zoom sometime, doing some music now. Is your email listed on your info? I think it is on my description on here, and also you can get it via my website, which is it's always in the links below in the description box of my videos. So check that out, and it's just send me an email, and we can get in touch and do a Zoom chat at some point and discuss different things, different points of view, different ways that we view things. Because I know, like, sometimes when you've been on my lives and I've been talking about it might be whatever subject it might be, and you've always brought in quite an interesting way of looking at things, a different aspect, and it's good to be open to different viewpoints as well, and not to be so rigid in just thinking that your way is the right way. That's who's ever right, really. But no, I'll be definitely up for that. I've shared quite a bit lately about different things that I've seen across Facebook, and it does concern me how some Reiki masters are practicing, and the information that they're giving clients or giving students. I even saw one today on a Facebook group. I can't remember what it was called, Reiki Healers Network or something like that on Facebook. And someone had said that they had learned Reiki level 1, and so had their wife, but the Reiki master had told them that they can't put their hands on their body where they have an issue. They have like an issue in the body, and they can't place the hands on that area because the Reiki will create more of that issue. Like, what are these people actually teaching? What are they talking about? It's utter nonsense. It is such utter nonsense. Hey, Al, evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you guys here. Yeah, there's been so much, and I'm thinking, where are these people actually learning Reiki from? Are they learning online? Are they learning with an actual person? Are they doing face to face? Where are they getting the teachings from? Because a lot of this information that is being shared, and quite frankly, it's scaring people a lot of the time, and it's worrying them quite a lot of the time. And one of the Reiki principles, as many of us know as practitioners, is let go of worry. But if your practitioner or your Reiki teacher or whatever is filling you full of worry, then how can that be a good way to practice? Not very good at all. Not a very good way to uphold the Reiki principles. You're also not working from a place of compassion, which is another one of the Reiki principles, because you're giving people this crazy information, making them feel worried. I mean, for instance, one of the recent video shorts that I made was about a Reiki master that was giving a healing to somebody, and the practitioner told the person that was receiving the healing that when they had their hands on their sacral chakra, that they felt physically sick and there must be something horrendously wrong with them. Like, what on earth are these practitioners doing? Why are they sharing this sort of information? Why are they telling people that? Making people worry and be afraid of something. It's just absolutely ludicrous. It really is. And that's not where we come from in a practice of Reiki. It's it's very gentle, it's very kind, it's very loving energy, it's beautiful energy, it's so gentle, and it's nothing to be that should create or cause concern. Alex, yeah, I got your email. Yeah, I've just got it through, so thank you for that. If you're still here, if you're still watching. So yeah, so how to become a good practitioner? How to become a better practitioner as a Reiki practitioner, as a Reiki teacher? How do we become better? And this is something I'm really kind of getting my teeth into lately, and it might upset people. I don't know, because I think sometimes the truth needs to come out, and we need to hear authenticity. We need to hear truth. And not this sort of, there's a lot of fluff, there's a lot of disinformation that goes about Reiki as well. All this weird stuff. Some of the examples that I've already just spoke about. But we become a better practitioner by, that would be the opposite of what Reiki is about, isn't it? Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Reiki is about supporting. Reiki is about holding space. Reiki is about healing. Reiki is about love and kindness, and that is totally the opposite. It sounds like the rule of 3: try a new food on 3 different occasions to prove to your body that it isn't poison. It sounds like Reiki might be like that sometimes. Healing is a really pretty word and experience. I mean, I've had a Reiki client today, and she's quite new, and she was quite surprised at how different today's treatment was to the last treatment, and she was expecting like all the same stuff to happen. And I was like, well, so I explained at the end of the treatment, I said, well, every session is going to be different, because we are always different. We are constantly changing. We're constantly evolving, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. There's things that go on in everyday life that we can't see, the energy that is around us, the energy that other people emit, and that has an interplay with our own energy field. So that affects us. The stress that we're under that day, maybe a conflict or some discussion or argument or whatever, that affects your energy for that day. So we're constantly changing, and the conditions are constantly changing. So Reiki is working with where you are in that moment, right then. And so that's why every treatment is always different. Meaning the people who have had a bad experience might have to give another go. Well, I'm hoping that they do, and I'm hoping that what happens doesn't scare them off. Because quite frankly, if I was just new to Reiki and I had a treatment and then someone told me that, and I didn't have the knowledge or experience that I did now, I would be absolutely mortified. I'd be wondering, well, what the hell is it that they've picked up on? What is it that they've told me? I need to go and get this checked out, and it would create all this confusion and conflict internally. And that's not what we're looking for in Reiki circles. We're not looking for inner conflict. We're looking for harmony. We're looking for balance. We're looking for healing. And, healing is different for every single person. Because again, as I mentioned just earlier, every Reiki treatment is going to be different because we're constantly changing and we're all different. We're all different souls. We're all different beings. We're all going through different things every single day. But when you see some of the stuff that people are experiencing and going through and talking about and sharing, you just think, where on earth is this coming from? Where is this information coming from? It really is bizarre. And then you get all these people as well that say that they're Reiki grandmasters. There's no such thing as a Reiki grandmaster. It's something that's been created out of ego, I think, and it's been a very good marketing ploy to make people think, oh, I'll tell you what, let's do another course. We'll call it a Reiki grandmaster. We'll charge this much money, and there's going to be so many more symbols, and we'll just do whatever. We'll just create some symbols or whatever it might be. It's a very, very good marketing ploy. Yeah, it's very strange, and like I said earlier, it seems to be quite concerning, the things that are coming out in Reiki circles. Luckily, the amount of people that I see that do comment on the post on things that I'm seeing on Facebook are actually extinguishing the issue, and they're saying pretty much the same as what I do, that it's that absolute hogwash or claptrap or absolute nonsense or whatever the people are asking. So luckily there is a lot more of us out there that are waving the truth flag with regards to Reiki. So yeah, it's a very big pond now, and there's that many different people that want to learn it and want to practice it, but they don't want to deepen their awareness. They don't want to deepen the knowledge. What's the difference between Reiki and reflexology? So obviously reflexology is manipulation of the feet. It's massage of the feet. It's touching on energy points in the feet, which correspond to the energy centers and the chi, the meridians around the body. Reiki is doing the same thing, except Reiki isn't a massage. It's just a gentle touch. And it's basically working with the same energy. So they're both working with the same energies. They're both working with your energy pathways, your meridians. And it's just one is through manipulation and touching and massage, whereas the other is just a gentle touch or a hands-off practice. Some people practice Reiki hands-off. I don't practice hands-off. I practice hands-on, so I always have the touch. The only time I don't touch the body is in intimate areas of the body, because there's no need to touch there. There's no need to go there. There's a lady local to me offering facial reflexology. Yeah, I mean, that'll be a thing. It might be something like myofascial or something like that. But I know when I do Indian head massage, we work on what's known in Indian head massage circles as mama points, which again are like energy centers around the face, which are the same as acupuncture points, acupressure points, shiatsu points. So they're all around the face, around the forehead, under the eyes, across the cheekbones, along the jawline. You've got tapping points as well. So a lot of this stuff, it interlinks. So when you start learning all different things, it interlinks so much. So the tapping points that we use in EFT, you've got the top of the head. So with Reiki, it's the crown chakra. You've got the inside of the eyebrow, which is near the third eye. And also Mama points with Indian head massage go across the top of the eyebrow and go up the forehead from the eyebrow. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover, there really is. So, and the more that you learn, and the more that you kind of like pick up and the more you develop, you realize how much crossover there is actually is, and how much it really does sort of like bounce off each other. It all starts to make sense. So yeah, that I found that fascinating when I learned Indian head massage, and then I was thinking about the points of massage, like Indian head massage and what we're doing, and then when I learned EFT, and then I was fascinated by the tapping points within EFT, and how closely related they were to Indian head massage, and how closely related they were to the hand positions as well, within the set hand positions within the system of the westernized system of Reiki, where you tend to use more chakra points, whereas as you develop, you tend to use more of an intuitive guidance rather than just following a set pathway. So yeah, that's why I kind of like look for that, and I just find it fascinating. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, reflexology, Reiki, acupressure, acupuncture, shiatsu, EFT, all that sort of stuff. It all corresponds and relates to the similar systems that we're working with. So it's your chi, your ki, your prana system, your pranic system, your chi, your energy body. So it's all working with the same system internally. So I hope that helps answer that. If you're new here and you've enjoyed what we've been talking about so far, please do subscribe to the channel and share this around. Share this live around, and give me a thumbs up, give me a like as well if you're new here. If you're not new here, then welcome. It's lovely to have you here again. And I'm just chatting. I'm answering questions currently, but I'm just talking about Reiki and how to become a better practitioner, how to become a good practitioner, and how to sort of not get swept away by a lot of the sensationalism, and also a lot of negative things that you see across social media of people saying different things that is just utter nonsense half the time. It is interesting, isn't it, how they have like the crossovers. I do find it quite fascinating, but that's kind of like, it's what I look for. I look for like, okay, so where does that relate? Where does that correspond with that? Where does that relate to that? And it's the same with when I'm doing. It's on a similar vein, but when I'm working with hypnotherapy and I'm doing EFT, usually I do EFT sometimes before a hypnosis session, because it helps to resolve any emotional issues. But that has a direct crossover into hypnotherapy as well, because you're you're guiding the person into the situation, you're creating the emotional response of how they're feeling, you're getting them to visualize what they're feeling, where is it in the body, giving it a color, trying to give it an identity, and then you can work with that in hypnotherapy. You can work with what they've created in the mind, so the subconscious is holding on to that information. So when you take them into hypnotherapy, you can then work with that and ask them to go deeper with that color, to go deeper with that emotion, to try and resolve it and work with it. So yeah, it all interlinks so beautifully, it really does. And then when you start taking the physical aspect of the body into such things like Pilates and yoga, and even like weightlifting and physical exercise, there's a great correlation between the mind-body connection and where we hold tension, where we hold stress, where we hold trauma in the body as well, just by different things that we can or we can't do. So yeah, I just find it fascinating, and I think not wanting to blow my own trumpet, but that is something that makes a good practitioner, especially a good Reiki practitioner, is you want to learn more. You want to try and find out why. Why does that do that? Why is that person feeling that? Why are they seeing that colour? You're trying to go that little bit deeper with it. And the more you deepen your knowledge, the more you deepen your experiences, and you deepen your own practice, your own self-healing practice as well. Your self-healing is probably the most important part about it, because Reiki in itself is a system for self-awareness and self-development. And it's only through the awareness and the development can you then become a half-decent practitioner. So yeah, it's very, 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 very interesting and fascinating. So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at, and I've like over this last couple of years, I suppose, I've been going more into traditional Japanese Reiki. I've been looking more into the actual aspects of Shinto and Zen. So I've been looking at that a little bit more, the meanings behind them, and how they correlate to Reiki as a system as well. And it's very, very interesting when you sort of like look at the system of Shintoism and Zen Buddhism as well, and how they interplay and how they work. They work really well alongside each other as well. I mean, the majority of what we see in Reiki itself is vastly more Zen practices than Shinto, but the Shinto is more of the Japanese culture. So it's very, very steeped in that sort of esoteric culture over there in Japan. And I kind of liken Shintoism as almost like shamanism, because Shintoism is looking at the universe, the life, the spirit, God in everything, in animals, in trees, in nature, in everything basically. And that's where Shintoism. So I find like quite a close correlation with shamanism in that respect. And actually, when you look at the actual kanji of the Reiki symbol, when you look at the actual meanings behind that, part of that symbol actually means shaman. So it just when you start looking a little bit deeper into the meanings, the why that's there, it opens your mind a little bit more to what's really going on, and what's being taught and what's being shown. And the more that we look, the more that we're looking for what's being shown, the more that we learn. And then we have to integrate that into our everyday life somehow. In the madness of the world and the madness of everything that's going on, we have to try and integrate that Zen aspect, that Shinto aspect as well, if you want to go into that. Yeah, it's interesting. And I know there's a lot of practitioners that do watch my videos and do find them informative, I think, and do find that there's a lot of that I do share a lot as well via the channel, via the lives, via the videos, just to try and deepen some practitioners' awareness, So, and I'm constantly trying to evolve and trying to deepen my own practice and awareness too. And even just today, when I was with my client today, and it was such a beautiful, deep, relaxing treatment, and it just felt so grounding. It just felt so safe and stable, and everything was just like, everything was just so still. And my client, I think, was expecting something more, wanting to see more colours, wanting to experience more tingling, but they felt just a heaviness, a stillness. I said, well, that's really good. That's a really good sign that you've got a nice grounded energy around you. You just feel planted, you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel stable. So for me, it just felt really, really comfortable and really, really safe and grounding and still. And that's a good sign, I think. Alex, I've been finding so many crossovers in art and life in general. Sometimes it's really cute, and sometimes it's like, hey, what the heck? Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it definitely teaches us a lot, doesn't it? Art. It really does. We learn so much about not just the art and the practice of creation, but we learn so much about ourselves. And I think the only reason why we learn so much about ourselves when we're in that phase of creation, of being artistic, that we find that stillness, we find that quiet time, and it's a real good time to just process. And I saw I was watching a video not so long ago. I can't remember if it was on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, and the person being interviewed was being asked, why is there so much anxiety? Why is there so many emotional issues? Why is there so much ADHD? Why is there so much of this, that, and the other? And he'd actually sort of like said in this video, if you think back 25, 30 years ago, families used to sit together. There was no more mobile phones. Families used to sit together, used to talk. They also used to take time to go into the garden, do a bit of garden, do a bit of creation, do a bit of crafting, do a bit of drawing, do a bit of something that wasn't connected to a mobile device, because it wasn't there. Yeah, we had the internet and what have you, but it was fairly new. It was a fairly new creation, but we weren't. It wasn't in the palm of our hands. It wasn't there. That was so controlling and so manipulative and so insidious that it's interwoven into every aspect of our lives. It's really, really it's dark. It's quite dark and malevolent at times, and you have to take it with a pinch of salt and not be so immersed in it. But people had time to stop. People had time to just process and just be still. People had time to sleep properly. People's circadian rhythms were so much better. People could sleep easier because we didn't have all this Wi-Fi soup around us constantly. We didn't have all this technology buzzing around us. We didn't have to be on our phones. We didn't have to be checking emails. You have to be, and we're having to. I think we're at a point now where we're having to re-educate ourselves to just let go of that, even if it's just for an hour a day, or reducing your time, so you can just have a little bit of stillness. Because if we don't have time to process and manage our emotional and mental state, that's when all this other stuff comes up. That's where all this other stuff is being created: the anxiety, the mental health, the ADHD, all the different things, all the different labels that people give themselves because of this social starvation, really. I mean, it's ironic that they call it social media, but it's far from it. There's no social interaction. We need human interaction. We need to speak to people. We're a social species. We need to speak to people, and speak to people eye to eye, one to one if we can, and have that interplay. Because if we don't, then we don't know how to communicate effectively. We don't know how to listen. We don't know how to take on information. We don't know how to process information. So it becomes a really, really difficult game of trying to navigate, well, what the hell? How do we deal with it? And then you just get into burnout. You just get into burnout. Where are we? Alex, have you tried making a song a day challenge? In February 2014, I did a song every day for a month, and it was nice giving myself a deadline. I haven't, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to be more creative each day. I'm trying to do something more creative each day, whether it's playing some guitar, as you might have seen on my other YouTube channel, whether it's doodling, whether it's it might be creating a video, it might be just getting some inspiration and just emptying my head, it might be journaling, whatever it might be. I'm trying to do something each day to just do that, to create that focus. I think technology has a big hand in us feeling all overstimulated and everything, working on it. Yeah. We need downtime, and technology doesn't give you that. It doesn't. We're constantly accessible, aren't we? Constantly accessible. And there was a lady that I was working with, with some Reiki a couple of weeks ago, and I always ask, is your phone on silent? Oh, yeah, it's on silent. And I always put mine on do not disturb. And even though it was on silent, somehow it still rang. It was still loud, it still rang, and in the end she just had to turn it off because it was that much of a distraction. And it's just like, you don't get 5 minutes. Everyone's contactable. Before, you had a landline and you did whatever. The world was a safe place. The world was a very, very different place. So Narendra Modi, are you Hindu? No. Zephyr, I feel a good way to structure our mind again after a session of social media, in inverted commas, is to consciously visualize something for a bit, e.g. numbers or a scene, like a reset button for our mental eye. That's a really good technique, yeah. I try to I don't try, I do. I meditate, and I give myself, every day I give myself a portion of time where I just stop and turn everything off, and just sit and meditate. And it's funny how, it's not funny actually, but if you've been using the phone a lot, when you come to try to meditate, it's so difficult. It's really, really difficult, because you've been looking at a screen with the flicker, the LED flicker, that is damaging your brain, it's damaging you psychologically, it's affecting your sleep, it's affecting your mental state. It's the same with LED lights, LED lights do the same thing. And it's very, very difficult to shut off, to get into a meditation when you've been working on a device with a phone. You've got whatever's going on the device, you've got whatever stress is building up internally, you've got all this, you've got all that, you've got the other. So it's very, very difficult. And I try to give myself that time to just put it away, shut it off, leave it, do not disturb, or turn it off, even better. And you find when you do turn it off and you put it on do not disturb, there's a neuroplasticity. I can't even say it. There's a neuro function that takes place, and it's a little bit like when you're journaling, when you write something down. There's that connection that goes on internally where it signals you to just shut off, to just relax. And I often say that to a lot of my clients, maybe that are going through stuff, to journal, to write stuff down, because there is a link between there is a scientific thing. There is a link between the neuroplasticity and the rewiring of your mind when you write stuff out. And if you give yourself that permission, you give yourself that signal. It's like when we're going into meditation and we're just going to focus on the breath, we're giving ourselves the permission to stop, to just breathe. And then the ego, the mind, the archons, whatever you want to call them, the egregores, when they try to distract you and you just, it's okay, let them pass, and you come back to your breath, then you're giving yourself that permission. And that's all you really need. That's all you really need, is to give yourself that permission. And once you do that, something shifts, something changes. But then it's about maintenance, about keeping that going, and not falling at the first hurdle like so many people will. So many people do that. They think, oh, well, I've tried meditating, I did it once, wasn't for me. But you just did it once. It's not enough. You need to keep at it. It's like anything. It's like if you want to learn to ride a bike, if you want to learn to play the guitar, if you want to learn to play the piano, you can't just do something once and expect to be perfect at it. It takes years and years of dedication and practice. I was just talking to a friend about how when I was in 3rd grade, there was only like 4 schools on my planet Earth, and I didn't know anything about the other 3. They were like totally different worlds. Had another online friend say when they take a break off their phone, they dream more at night. Yeah, I found that actually when I turn my phone off on a night and I put it into airplane mode, I have a much better night's sleep, and I tend to dream more because there's nothing interfering. Zephyr, yes, it's like making an appointment with ourselves, like meeting an old friend. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just find it's a very strange time, and the world is very strange, and well, the last 20 years have been strange, to be fair. But it just seems to be getting stranger and stranger the more we go on, and you go through COVID and you think, well, it can't get any worse than that. But then there's all these other things that are taking place, like beneath the surface, and energetically you can feel things going on. You can feel things taking place. You can feel like an undercurrent that is being created by the populace, and the energy that they're creating, and the beings that create a lot of this stuff, they kind of harvest on that as well. They thrive on that fear and that worry. That's what they feed on, basically, and that's why within our practice we have to rise above it. We have to rise above that and just shine more light on them, as they say, as we used to say years ago. We don't really say that much now, do we? It got to a point where everyone's kept saying, like, oh, shine your light, shine bright, this, that, and the other, but not many people say that anymore. Maybe we need to start saying that again. Maybe we do need to start shining our light a bit more and shining bright, and make a point of saying it. Sometimes it might piss people off. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a little bit of a trigger point. So maybe we do need to do that a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, when you're shining your light, all you're doing is you're shining awareness. You're shining love into a place that needs it. I didn't know I had a higher self or an inner child until pretty recently. My system is still adjusting from the news. Also, they are sort of one in the same. That's cool. Both can be observed through the inner awareness of consciousness, which is I. Absolutely. It's a little bit like the way I kind of think about it, but especially about the inner child stuff, the higher self. It's all one and the same thing, basically. It's an energy. But the way I try and think about it, and the way I sometimes try and visualize it and feel it, is it's a bit like being sat on a fence, and on one side is your higher self, and on the other side is your inner child. Or it could be whatever aspect of you, whatever you want to work with. It could be maybe a spirit guide, and then it could be karma. That's how I kind of like look at it, and I just think of myself as, because when we're in meditation, the word meditation means to be in the middle or in the medium. So medi is like medium or middle, and that's what we're doing. So we're practicing to be in the middle. So when we're sitting on the fence, when we're in the middle, so when we're sat there, so we're here, we're in the middle, and all the thoughts, the world, all the stuff is going on around us, but we remain solid, we remain present, we remain in the middle. So that's what we're doing, and whatever practice we're using, we're always trying to get to the middle. So we can be the observer, we can be the I, and we can be with all that, and we can connect to it easier. Yeah, reality in some kind is looking on, for example, sacred geometry. We'll look at one picture, and when we are still enough, there are pictures popping up inside the pictures, which are mirrors of our inner world. When somebody else looks on the same geometric pattern, mirrors will pop up, e.g. the inner child, other memories, associations. Yeah, that's quite right. And depending on where you are as well, I mean, this stuff comes up when you need it as well. So it won't all come flooding at once. It'll come when you're ready for it, when your soul's ready for it, when you're starting to integrate different things. And that's why I think I've made a video which is to be released on Monday, I think. I can't remember, I think. I just did it today, actually. But it's about how to develop spiritually. If you're just starting like your spiritual journey, if you're starting your awakening journey, what is the different things that you need to do to sort of progress and develop. And your first thing is to become grounded, to ground your energy, to be stable in mind and body. Because if a lot of this stuff starts coming thick and fast and you're not stable in mind and body, you're going to be like, whoa, you're going to be all over the place. So that's why we need to work on that one first. You've got to come from a place of grounding. You've got to keep your roots strong, and then your tree will grow and flourish. Yeah, you're bringing some great, really, really good points, Zephyr. You really are. In the end, it's like the world of ideas presented by Plato and Socrates. Yeah, I love a lot of the old philosophicals and the ancient thought, the ancient wisdom that gets handed down, and yeah, and it's good. It's good to see as well how everyone goes kind of like on their own path and on their own journey, but at some point we all start to get kind of it's like we all get intertwined, you know, like I was saying at the beginning about how like Indian head massage and EFT and reflexology and Reiki and all these different things, how they're all interlinked. It's like everything is interlinked somehow. And I love how a lot of that ancient wisdom, and even like, you know, the ancient Chinese wisdom, you know, that's being fed through their culture, and the Japanese wisdom, and the Buddhism and the shamanism and all that ancient culture, all of the ancient cultures and wisdom, it gets filtered through, and every now and again certain people pick up on that, and they feed it, they nurture it, they cultivate it like a tree, they look after it, and they allow their roots to grow strong, and it helps them to flourish, and bloom. because they know that somewhere deep inside the wisdom, the esoteric wisdom, some occult wisdom, and these philosophies, a lot of philosophers and stuff, it's all so like beautifully interwoven within everything. I sometimes feel they saw the world so much better than now. Yeah, well, we're just so blocked off by everything, aren't we now? We really are. Do you think there is any objective reality? Because I definitely think lately that it is mostly an interpretation. Their minds most possibly were not occupied by societal institutions like ours today. I love the word ancient. It's a staple in recent poetry. I think so, yes, there is a web or field that connects everything together, but the individual relation to it is different. Thus the perspectives on reality. You look like a homeless Jason Statham. Oh, thank you. We have these wonderful deep discussions, and then someone like that comes on. You're just like, what? Can you shave your head? No, I'm not going to shave it now. I will shave it eventually. He just has a different perspective on things. You could say that. I think he was more focused on my shiny forehead. Blinded by the light. Ah, no! So I had a bit of a chat. I was part of a YouTube channel member live promotion thing. I'd been selected because they must have seen that I've been doing a lot of lives. So my channel got pulled up to be part of this sort of promotion thing or whatever, and it's to try and do more lives, and it's trying to do more stuff for the members on the channel. I don't have many members on my channel, so mine's more to do with the lives. So I'm being kind of challenged, as it were, to try and do 3 lives per week, and to try to do 1 to 3 member videos per week as well. So I do try to go live as often as I can. So, as you know, but obviously we get busy. Life takes over. So we just do what we do when we can. Alex, it's like when people are talking about when their parents passed away, then someone comes in the door with a case of beer and doesn't read the room and says, "What's up, douchebags?" Yeah. I got some weird survey too, and at the end it said I wasn't what they were looking for. Aww. Yeah, so I was on like this. It was like a Google Meets chat, and there was about 300 other people on there. Um, Luckily, they were all muted, um, and it was just like telling us like things we can do to try and use YouTube as a business, um, and what have you. So obviously, there's no pressure. You don't have to do this stuff, but if you want to grow, they were giving us kind of like the ideas and the tools to try and do that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to try and what day are we on? It's Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday today. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, perhaps. So maybe if I can try and go live Friday and Saturday as well. So there's my 3 for the week. Yeah. But no, I think with anything like this, you've just got to. Sometimes you've got to take a back step. You've got to just sit down and just have a rest, have a breather. And the thing is as well, the YouTube emails that you get through, they're always saying like, don't forget to think about your wellness. If people are creating a lot of content, if they're doing sort of like maybe 2 videos a day, or 10 shorts a day or whatever, they often say as well, and they don't forget about your wellness. Make it manageable, because it is exhausting creating and talking and creating content and thinking of ideas. It is very, very tiring, and it can be very, very exhausting. So yeah, I still feel that most of the growth that some people push is really just swelling. Yeah. It sometimes frustrates me, because I just think, well, I've how long have I had this channel now? It'll be 6 years this year. And we've got just over like 4,100 subscribers roughly. And it fluctuates, it goes up and down, and sometimes, and that's why I've been doing a lot more lives, because I seem to be getting more subscribers through the lives, but they don't turn into viewers of the content. They just want to be there for the lives. So I don't know, it's really bizarre how it works, because my view count hasn't, like for my videos, has kind of like just gone either down or just remained stagnant. But there was a lot of people that were in that chat as well that were talking about the algorithm changing, or something's changed within YouTube, and they were all struggling to get views, to get growth as well. So it's not just me, it's everybody across the board was getting that as well. They like the idea of growth, but don't want to put in the work. And then, as you say, Alex, they don't grow, they swell. Even if you do low effort, non-edited content 2 times a day, it might be too much in several personal cases. Yeah, I mean, I try to keep my content as sort of, as edit free as possible, so I don't have to do that much work to it. Other than when I'm sort of maybe doing like meditations and things like that. Then obviously there's a little bit of background work that goes into that. There's obviously the dialogue that I have to do, the script, trying to find some bit of music, trying to find some images or whatever to go through the meditation. But I have a blueprint for each meditation, so now I can just change the script, do a new dialogue, and upload that to the video that I've got, the blueprint that I've got. And if I want to extend it and make it longer, I can. So yeah, but I try to make it as edit free and as simple as possible, so I'm not having to sit and edit and add stuff in for like hours a day. So yeah. The algorithms always seem to change I have seen channels with 10k subs regularly get 50 views. What I like are the comments. I have a video on another channel, The Thinkerer, that has like 128,000 views, and what actually sticks are comments. Yeah, I do like reading the comments, and I like joining in chats and creating a thread of chats as well with people to try and create a connection, and see if that sort of pulls people to check out my channel as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of the mysteries, and you just got to just kind of like go with it, and it is what it is, isn't it? So yeah. They do as well shadow ban lately. A whole lot of videos from Greg Braden, for example, have 0 likes and 0 dislikes. So it's hard to go with the numbers here. Yeah, there's still a lot of that goes on for sure, definitely. And it depends, I think it depends on what you watch, what content you're creating, what you're talking about. If it's a little bit too out of the box for people, which I think a lot of my content probably will be because it's not the norm. So yeah, it's difficult, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and whoever sees it is meant to see it, and that's it. Yeah, that's all you can do. All you can do is just like keep going, and just be as consistent as you can. Be authentic as authentic as you can. Speak your truth unapologetically, and and just be open to whatever and whoever, and just be kind. I think if you can just be kind, that goes a long way. So, unless you tell me I look like a homeless Jason Statham. The year the numbers learned to lie. Oh, Alex, you're getting a bit. You might be getting me shadow banned with this kind of stuff. Right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for keeping me company. I hope you've enjoyed being here. And I'm going to head off. But yeah, thank you for chatting. Thank you for bringing some really, really wonderful concepts in to discuss and chew the fat over. Alex, I'll get back to you. I'll send you an email and we'll sort something out. And yeah, let's all catch up soon, possibly on Friday, around about the same sort of time-ish. So maybe see you then, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we'll think about what we're going to talk about then. So toodaloo, Alex, Zephyr, Al, and everybody else who's been here. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in another video, another live in the ever-present future. Toodaloo for now. Bye-bye.